Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bexar County County Court at Law number 6 in the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. Today is motion to revoke probation docket. It is Thursday, 17 November 2021. It is approximately 5 minutes until 11 a.m. in the morning. The cases we have set for hearing today are Cause 632-706, State of Texas versus Patricia Dunlap, represented by Mr. Alberto Rodriguez. Cause 641-356, State of Texas versus Jonathan Flores, represented by Mr. Chris Castro. Cause 646-586, State of Texas versus Roldan Serna, represented by Ms. Mary Petrozek. Cause number 6399552, State of Texas versus Edgar Hernandez, represented by Mr. Leo Gonzalez. And cause number 654435, State of Texas versus Ashley Guerrero, represented by Ms. Kim Beza. Previously, we had Ms. Rosemary Diaz set this morning. That's been reset to tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and Mr. Martinez is aware of that. Representing the state in all matters is Mr. Eddie Villarreal, and representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you are about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez, are we ready to start on Ms. Dunlap? And your microphone
You're muted, sir.
not turned on, Mr. Rodriguez. There you go.
Okay, yeah, we're ready, Your Honor.
All right, all good. This is cause number 632-706, State of Texas versus Patricia Dunlap. This is a first amended motion to revoke community supervision. Representing Ms. Dunlap, Mr. Alberto Rodriguez. Ms. Dunlap and Mr. Rodriguez, the first document I need you to identify your signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Ms. Dunlap, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Rodriguez, as attorney for Ms. Dunlap, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction, unquote. In fact, Ms. Dunlap, is this your signature on this document also, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Rodriguez, is this also your signature on this document as attorney for Ms. Dunlap?
Yes, Your Honor.
If anybody has their microphone turned on and we're not specifically talking to you at this time, please turn your mic off and wait until we're talking to you so we don't get any background noise. Thanks. Okay. Once again, this is cause 632-706, a first amended motion to revoke community supervision. Mr. Rodriguez, my understanding is this is an uncontested first amended motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Dunlap, in cause 632-706 on the first amended motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, ma'am?
No contest.
It's either true or not true, and I always say with an
True. True.
court accepts the plea of true with an explanation. Is that adequate, Mr. Rodriguez?
It is, Your Honor.
Fair enough. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Ms. Dunlap's probation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Dunlap has performed poorly on probation. She was placed on probation on June 4th of 2020. An MTR was filed and it was heard in the jail. And she pleaded with the judge and said she wanted to remain on probation. And she was instructed that she needed to, sign her conditions as soon as she got out of jail. She again failed to show up for getting her conditions signed, so we've never seen her. She hasn't paid anything. She has a balance of $380, is delinquent $292. She didn't have any community service. She had the CATSNP program, which we have no evidence of completion. She was on zero tolerance. She was arrested and charged with 2 new offenses, one being fraud, one being mail theft. Her prior arrest history include 2 assault bodily injuries, evading arrest or detention, terroristic threats, terroristic threat of a family or household member, criminal trespass of a building and or vehicle, terroristic threats, criminal trespass of private property, fraudulent use, possession of IDs, and info greater than 5 items. And then, of course, the theft of mail. The probation officer is recommending revocation.
Mr. Rodriguez, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're requesting a judgment satisfied because she has 460 days incarcerated. The reason all these problems are because I filed a motion for SAC evaluation, and it took some time, and all these problems that she supposedly caused were a result of her mental problems. But she has been found to be competent to stand trial, so she's entering this plea. We're asking for judgment satisfied because of the many days that she has served.
How did Ms. Rodriguez, excuse me, how did Ms. Dunlap acquire 460 days of time in jail? Was this like a long wait for a competency evaluation, or what was the problem on this one?
She also has felonies, Your Honor. She has
Okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. Thank you. State recommendation?
Your Honor, the state recommends revocation of 460 days in the Bexar County Jail and judgment satisfied.
And my understanding is that terroristic threat is a Class B offense. Do you agree, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, Your Honor.
And state, do you agree that terroristic threat is a Class B offense with a maximum sentence of 180 days in the Bexar County Jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Susan, what was the original fine on this case, if you would know?
Judge, she was not assessed a fine in this case.
The $0 fine plus court costs, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, Ms. Dunlap, in clause 632706, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail, assess a $0 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Dunlap?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, and thank you, state, and thank you, Ms. Dunlap. You're all excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Castro, are you ready to proceed on Mr. Flores' case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is cause number 641356, State of Texas versus Jonathan James Flores. This is a first amended motion to revoke community supervision. Representing Mr. Flores, originally was Mr. John Perez, and now is Mr. Chris Castro. And I need to ask Mr. Flores and Mr. Castro about their signatures on 2 documents. The first document is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Flores, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Castro, as attorney for Mr. Flores, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. In fact, Mr. Flores, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Castro, as attorney for Mr. Flores, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. And Mr. Castro, my understanding is this is an uncontested first amended motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
Mr. Flores, in clause 641356 on the first amended motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
It's true.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Flores' probation?
Yes, Your Honor. To date, Mr. Flores has done well on probation. He was originally on deferred. His deferred was taken away and he was placed on regular probation August 19th of 2021. We last saw Mr. Flores on October 5th, 2021. He has completed all 48 hours of his community service. He has had 4 negative drug tests. He has had 3 failure to submit to drug testing. And he was on the weekly IVR call-in line to conduct weekly drug tests. And he failed to call the telephone line on 10 different occasions. He was also ordered to complete a CATSNP program, which he has failed to do. He did complete a firearm safety class, and his fees are that he has paid $913 towards his fees. He has a balance of $248, and he is delinquent $59. He did receive credit for monies and programs completed while he was on the deferred. His prior arrest history includes this offense, as well as a discharge of a firearm in a municipal population over 100,000. That case was closed. His original fine was $350. And his officer is recommending that he be continued on the weekly drug testing IVR line and that he show substantial compliance within 10 days.
Okay, Mr. Castro, I guess the elephant in the room, and let me, Mr. Flores, I apologize. If go ahead and turn your microphone off unless we're specifically talking to you, so we don't get background noise. Thanks. Mr. Castro, I guess the elephant in the room is we seem to have a major issue regarding submitting to your analysis test, calling the UA line, that sort of thing. Like it would appear to someone who's uninitiated that someone's trying to hide something, marijuana or who knows what. What is your take on all this? Failed to call, failed to call, failed to call, failed to submit, et cetera, et cetera.
Judge, from my understanding, it seems that the first failed to calls were all clustered in September. He said there was some sort of confusion as to the ID and that he's supposed to log into. You did see after that he does start to submit negative UAs. He said on one of the failed to submits, he did actually go in and do his backup. They said that he was released, that they'll submit the sign-in sheet to probation to prove that he actually showed up. But for whatever reason, that was never submitted to probation. He is willing to accept the extended UAs as recommended by probation.
Okay, so you've got no rational answer for me other than he just didn't get around to doing all these things. Is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
All right. I got it.
As far as the UA, I know that he was registered for the CATSNP prior to getting picked up for this MTR. And he has the certificate at his home for the firearm safety course, Judge. And I apologize for all that noise. Let me turn that off.
No problem. Ms. Gross, initially, and of course, my hearing is not the best, but initially I thought you said that Mr. Flores had done well on probation. Did you mean to say he did not do well on probation? What were you telling me?
As well, in regards to reporting, Judge.
Okay. And Susan, in the future, not necessarily just on this case, on every case that has had a prior MTR, I need a copy of the prior MTR so I can see what ground we've already covered before and whether or not that's been corrected. I don't know how much extra trouble that is for you guys, but I got to have it.
Okay, well, technically, and in the probation world, once they're taken off of deferred and put on regular, you can't use anything from the deferred sentence or time on probation towards the current regular probation.
I agree, no problem. But I still have a right to know what the original MTR was about. And for instance, if there was a positive marijuana issue, I have a right to know whether we still have a positive marijuana issue or not, or whether that was corrected. So
Okay,
not
but
now, not today, but in the future, I need to have a copy of any old MTR.
Yes,
Not
sir.
on Mr. Flores. We're good on Mr. Flores. State recommendation on Mr. Flores, please.
Your Honor, the state agrees with probation's recommendation in this case.
And Susan, what was the original fine amount on Mr. Flores' case?
Judge, the original fine on this case was $350.
All right, let me continue reading my narrative here and make sure I don't miss anything. Mr. Flores, in cause 641-356, the court accepts your plea of true. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail. Assess a $350 fine. Plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. Is Mr. Flores currently incarcerated? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so he's already good to go on that. Basically, I could have given you a year in jail. I'm giving you credit for the things you did do and punishing you for the things you didn't do. So there you go. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Flores?
Not this time, Judge. How much credit does he have?
I show 18 days.
Okay, can I? No. Can I have a moment to confer with the state?
To confer with the state.
Judge, I just 6 months is.
Well,
So
I've already
six
ruled.
months.
I've already ruled. Feel free to confer with the state after our hearings are over. I've got 3 or 4 more hearings to go. If you want
Okay,
to hang
Judge.
around and confer with the state at that time, you're welcome to do that. But the state has no authority to overrule my sentencing. So
No, I understand, Judge. Also, okay, I guess for Mr. Flores, that's it for right now.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Flores and Mr. Castro. Once again, you can sign back in. We're going to be here to probably 11:30, probably 12 o'clock. So if you want to go do something and come back, you're welcome to
Your
do
Honor,
that.
he has another client.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Judge, I'm here for Leo Gonzalez. He's out for a conference.
Let's see.
The defendant is Edgar Hernandez, Your Honor.
Let's do that one at this point in time. Are you ready to go forward on that one, Ms. Castro?
Well, Judge, I believe Leo was trying to see if he can get a continuance until he gets back from the conference. I understand that it's the court is not in session next week.
For the most, now, I mean, we're in session. It's time. Hang on a second. Let me look and see how aggravated or not aggravated all this is. It appears somebody's been drinking, but not drinking much. All right. Do you have the authority to represent Mr. Hernandez on this MTR?
I do, Judge. I was just asked to request the continuance, and if the court wanted to proceed today.
I'm not excited about revoking him at this time unless he's robbed a bank or shot somebody, and I don't really see him being a serial killer in here anywhere. So if we can proceed, let's proceed. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that would be fine.
All right. This is cause number 6399952, State of Texas versus Edgar A. Hernandez, represented by Mr. Chris Castro, originally represented by Mr. Leo Gonzalez. And Mr. Castro, are you ready to proceed at this time?
Yes, Judge, but I believe my client's still in the breakout room.
How did that happen? Pat, can we unbreak him out of the breakout room?
Oh, he's right there.
Oh, there he is. Can you hear us, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay, great. Mr. Hernandez, this is cause number 6399952. There's a motion to revoke community supervision. And I have 2 documents for you and Mr. Castro to identify your signatures on. The first is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Hernandez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Castro, as attorney for Mr. Hernandez, is your signature on this document?
No, Judge, it's Attorney Leo Gonzalez.
Okay. Can you identify Mr. Gonzalez's signature on this document with regards to him being the initial attorney on this case?
Yes, Judge.
Great. Next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked as a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. In fact, Mr. Hernandez, is this your signature on this document also?
Yes.
And Mr. Castro, can you identify Mr. Gonzalez's signature on this document as the original attorney?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. This is a motion to enter motion to revoke community supervision. And my understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that accurate, Mr. Castro?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Hernandez, in cause 6399952 on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
It'd normally be true or not true.
True. Oh,
With
okay.
an explanation.
True.
All right, we'll say true with an explanation. Would that be okay, Mr. Castro?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Hernandez's probation?
She's on mute, Judge.
You're on mute, Susan.
Sorry about that. He has been reporting as directed. We last saw him on November the 10th in the Bexar County Jail. He has paid $162 towards his fees. He has a balance of $1,580 and is delinquent $149. We have no record of any of his 40 hours community service having been done. We have no drug tests on file. We have one positive for alcohol on the Smart Start mobile device where he is testing it 4 times a day. He has one skip test and one high BRAC of 0.025 on October 27th, 2021. He has completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and is currently attending the CAPSNP program. His prior arrests include possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. The offense that he is on probation for, DWI. And his officer is recommending that his Smart Start mobile be increased to 6 times per day and that the CATS intensive outpatient program be added after he completes the CAPSNP program.
And Mr. Castro, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're just requesting that we increase from 4 to 6 times a day with substantial compliance to go back after 30 to 40 days.
And Mr. Hernandez may be the only one that knows the answer to this. Mr. Hernandez, how many classes at the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program have you attended so far?
For the CATSNP,
Yes, sir.
that would be 5 as of yesterday.
Okay, so what I need to know. State recommendation?
Your Honor, the state recommends increasing the Smart Start mobile from 4 to 6.
And Susan, this is confusing. Does Mr. Castro have a prior MTR on this case or not?
No, this is his first violation report, first MTR.
Good to go. Mr. Hernandez, rather. Mr. Hernandez, and cause number 639-952, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your community supervision, or you continued on community supervision with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary, sir?
No.
Good answer. Are you going to stop drinking, sir?
Yes, sir.
Another good answer. Altering and amending your conditions, modifying the Smart Start mobile device from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day immediately. Once he shows me 30-day period of time where he has not missed any blows at 6 blows a day, and there are no high BRACs for alcohol, Mr. Castro, I will be happy to put him back on 4 blows a day, but I won't know he's done that. He's got to tell you, you got to tell me, and then I got to confirm it with probation, okay?
Understood, Judge.
I'm also putting him on weekly UAs. Once he shows me 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, I'll put him back on monthly UAs. Once again, I will not know he's done that if he does it. So, Mr. Hernandez, you got to tell Mr. Castro, he's got to tell me, and I got to confirm it with probation. I'm also ordering substantial compliance in all other areas within 10 days. And I think he's kind of doing everything except he's behind on money. Is that kind of where we're at, Sue?
Money and community service, Your Honor.
All right. He's got the ability to either initiate doing community service within 10 days, or he can donate $10 an hour to a court charity, which are primarily special operations, wounded warriors, and family violence prevention organization and stuff like that. So within 10 days, he needs to be signed up and or come current on whatever he's doing. So he needs to be doing something on community service and pay up what he's behind in the monies, which is how much, Susan? $100-something?
$149.
$149. Any questions, Mr. Hernandez?
No, Judge.
Your attorney has saved you. I doubt it will happen again, but good luck to you. Thank you, Mr. Castro. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Hernandez?
I have instructions, Your Honor.
Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Hernandez, later today, you'll be receiving amended conditions from me in your email. You need to sign those and return those to me, okay? Your officer will be increasing your blows to 6 times per day, and he will most likely email those to you, okay?
Okay.
Touch base with him later this afternoon. Let him know what transpired here this morning.
Okay.
I will update the computer late this afternoon because I'm going to be in court all morning. And that way you can make sure that you have your next appointment established and all of that. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Castro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Y'all are dismissed. And Ms. Petruzek, are you ready to proceed on Mr. Serna's case?
Yes, Judge.
This is cause number 646-586. This is a first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Defendant and Mr. Roldan Serna Jr., represented by Ms. Mary Petruzek. The first document I have for Mr. Serna and Ms. Petruzek to identify their signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Serna, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Petruzek, as attorney for Mr. Serna, is this your signature on this document also?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which should be marked. It's adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication. The defendant has a limited right of appeal. My document copy is not so marked. So Pat, administratively, if you ensure that's marked before we process all the paperwork, and that'll take care of that. And in fact,
Yes,
Mr. Serna, is that your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Petruzek, as attorney for Mr. Serna, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And Ms. Petruzek, my understanding is this is an uncontested first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Serna, in cause 646-586 on the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. How do you plead, sir?
True.
Thank you. And Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Serna's probation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Serna has been reporting as directed. We last saw him on October 14th, 2021. He has paid $880 towards his fees. He has a balance of $607. He is current at this time. He has completed all 48 hours of his community service. He has completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and the CATSNet program. He remains on the Smart Start mobile device, where he is currently testing 4 times per day. He has had 15 skip tests and 2 high BRACs. He had a high BRAC, which was a warning BRAC of 0.016 on July 10th of 2021. Then on October 16th, 2021, he had a high BRAC. And the 3 tests provided ranged from 0.036 to 0.40. His prior criminal history, he has no arrests. And his officer is recommending that his Smart Start mobile be increased to 6 times per day and that he provide weekly drug tests for a minimum of 30 days.
Okay. Defense, what are you requesting? Mary, your microphone is off.
Sorry about that, Judge. We're in agreement with that, Judge. I went over the amendments of the conditions, and we ask at this time that the court honor that and follow the probation and state's recommendations on this case. He has shown due diligence in compliance with this case. He's done a lot more on probation so far than most of my clients, and I think that he, if given the opportunity this time by the court, that he can show full compliance.
And Ms. Gross, what was the original fine amount on this case?
Judge, the original fine was $850.
And how many hours community serve? 48 is what he got originally?
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
sir. 48.
And he completed all
He's
48.
done all that. I got it.
He also completed all of his classes.
We got that. Mr. Serna, And cause number, I'm sorry, state recommendation. Did I get your recommendation yet? I forgot.
No, Your Honor, the state's recommendation, we are in agreement with, I'm sorry, with, oh my God, it's skipping my mind. We're in agreement with probation, Your Honor, sorry.
All right. Fair enough. Mr. Serna, cause number 646-586, court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate you guilty of the offense of obstruction of a highway. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 6 months, assess an $850 fine plus court costs, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, community alliance for traffic safety new intervention program, 48 hours community service. Adding weekly UAs. Once he shows me 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, I will put him back on monthly UAs, and increasing your Smart Start mobile device from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day. Once again, once he shows me a 30-day period of time where he has not skipped any test at 6 blows a day, and there are no high bracs for alcohol, I'll crank him back down to 4 blows a day. Credit for all programs completed, all monies paid. Susan, what did I forget?
And he's going to remain on the Smart Start for half the term, Your Honor?
Sure. Which is, another 3 months, but I'll take that up one day at a time. So far, if we don't have any more problems in the next 30 to 60 days, we'll talk about that, Ms. Petrozek. You're welcome to approach on that one. We've been skipping a lot of tests, and we've gotten 2 or 3 high bracs for alcohol. And once we correct those, I think we'll be in good shape. Do you agree, Mary?
Yes, Judge, I agree.
And Mr. Serna, have you got any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, I think your attorney saved you this time, and I doubt that's going to happen again. So just stay cool and don't drink, and we're good. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Serna?
I have some instructions, Your Honor.
Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Serna, Ms. Benavides will be sending you and your attorney some paperwork that needs to be signed. It will contain a new data sheet. So you got to fill that out again, and you need to sign the new application and return that immediately. Okay, failure to do so will result in the judge issuing a warrant. You'll be right back here and you won't be staying free. You'll be going to jail instead. Your probation is basically starting all over, but you get credit for everything you've done. So you don't have to do the classes again, but you do need to stop drinking, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, probation should be reaching out to you. If you have not heard from them by next Wednesday morning, you need to call intake, and their telephone number is 210-335-7446. 335-7446. Tell them that you are put on probation today and that you need an orientation date. And that's only if they haven't reached out to you. They should have reached out to you by then, okay?
Okay.
All right, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and Miss Garcia, she's gonna be increasing your blows today or tomorrow morning at the latest. And she'll probably email those to you. If you haven't heard from her by noon tomorrow, give her a call and ask her what your new test times are, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right,
Yes, ma'am.
y'all are dismissed. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Judge. Y'all have a great day.
This is cause 654435, style State of Texas versus Ashley Yazel Guerrero, represented by Miss Kim Besa, originally represented by Miss Linda Corley. Miss Besa, are you ready to proceed?
I am, Judge.
This is a motion to revoke community supervision. The first document I have for both Ms. Guerrero and Ms. Besa to identify signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Ms. Guerrero, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Besa, can you identify Ms. Corley's signature on this document as the original attorney of record?
It is her signature, Judge.
Thank you. Next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked as a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. And in fact, Ms. Guerrero, is this your signature on this document also?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Besa, can you identify Ms. Corley's signature on this document as the original attorney of record?
It is her signature, Judge.
Thank you. And Ms. Besa, my understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Ms. Guerrero, in cause 654435 on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, ma'am?
I plead true, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Ms. Guerrero's probation?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Guerrero has been reporting as directed. Her last report was October 14th, 2021. She has paid $196 towards her fees. She has a balance of $910, and she is currently delinquent $345. We have no record of any of her community service being done, and she owes 24 hours. She's had 4 negative drug tests. She's completed victim impact panel, but we have no record of the DWI education or the CAPSNP program having been completed. She has currently been on Smart Start testing 4 times per day, and she's been on the device since June. And since September 23rd, she has skipped a total of 5 tests. She has 1 prior arrest for possession of marijuana 0 to 2 ounces, and her officer is recommending that she be placed on a SCRAM device.
We're not doing that. Ms. Beza, what are you requesting, please?
Judge, we were in agreement with the SCRAM, but we are asking that Ms. Guerrero ultimately be placed on, continued on probation. I do understand that that she only has 3 hours left on her DWI education class. She did register and actually attended her her first catnip class last night. She did miss some of those Smart Start blows, Judge, but she is currently pregnant. She's in her first trimester, so she is, having different sleep, problems and, just sleeping at different times. So she did miss the alarm. And for that reason, she did not, blow. But other than that, Judge, she is missing community service hours and, she is behind on some money, but she is on probation till June of next year. So she's working on getting in compliance and completing all that by then.
And Ms. Gross, is this Ms. Guerrero's second MTR?
This is her second violation report and her first MTR.
I got you. Somewhere down the line, did we, instead of filing an MTR, did we increase her Smart Start mobile blows to 6 instead of 4, like back in August? Does that make sense?
Probably. I can double check for you. 1 second.
I'll bet Ms. Guerrero knows. Did we do that to you, Ms. Guerrero, somewhere on there?
Yes, sir.
right.
It was increased to 6.
Well, you're still here and you're not in jail, so that's probably a good sign that you did what we asked you to do. All right, state recommendation, please.
Your Honor, the state agrees with probation's recommendation.
Basically, all we really kind of have here, Susan, is a slow starter. Would you agree? She's been on probation 5.5 months and is just now getting into doing all her programs and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, all good. Ms. Guerrero, in cause 6544435, the court accepts your plea of true on the motion to revoke community supervision. I deny the state's motion to revoke your community supervision, or you continued on community supervision with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Is that something you think is needed in this case?
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
Another good answer. Requiring substantial compliance in all areas within 10 days. Susan, what is she not registered for currently? She's in the middle of the DWI education, apparently. Have we registered for CAPSNP yet? Have we done any classes for them?
Yes, Judge. She started her first session last night.
All right, perfect. And Susan, what did I miss? And she needs to catch up on her monies. I'll bet your very wealthy attorney would be happy to loan you the money to catch up on all your probation fees. What do you think?
We'll have to ask Ms. Corley.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Ms. Corley. I like the way you think. That's good. Tell Ms. Corley I said that, by the way.
I will.
All right. So Ms. Guerrero, you need to catch up on your monies and any other programs that you haven't registered for, get that going. And Susan, on community service, we haven't heard anything on that. Are you doing anything on that at this time, Ms. Guerrero?
I have not. I was originally planning to donate the money, but I understand that I have to catch up first on my court fees. And because of the pregnancy, I have been missing a lot of work, but I will sign up to do the
Hours.
I would just, yeah, the hours, correct. I will do that.
And where are you working, ma'am?
I work at Fidelity Information Services. I verify bank statements and checks and work directly with a lot of banks.
All right, wonderful. There are a lot of community service programs where all you do is answer the phone, so you can probably work something out with them at Goodwill or somewhere like that. All right.
Okay.
Ms. Gross, anything else we need to take up at this time?
Ms. Guerrero, I'll be sending you documents this afternoon via your email. You need to sign those and send them back to me. And Judge, you said you're increasing to 6 blows?
No, not.
Okay. And
All we have is, we don't have any positive bracks. We just have what, 5 misses, 5 skips?
correct.
And Ms. Guerrero, you're not going to skip anymore, are you?
No, sir.
Good answer.
Okay.
See, we fixed it.
Okay, so all you want then is a substantial compliance in 10 days.
Correct.
Okay, so you'll receive a document from me later this afternoon. Go ahead and sign it and send it back. And touch base with your officer, let him know that you were in court this morning. And then she'll get you set up for your next appointment. This will count as your report to be seen. So if she tells you otherwise, you tell her no. I'm gonna call her later and let her know that this is, but she does have the right to ask you to come in if she still wants to see you and discuss any other issues. However, this will count as a report. So don't worry about not reporting yesterday. And Judge, she does have an active warrant if you can withdraw that.
That would probably be best.
So that warrant will probably be on the system until late today or tomorrow morning. So you need to lay low for another day, okay?
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, do you have any questions?
Yes, I am currently at 6 blows, so that will continue as
Crank her down to 4.
Okay,
thank you, Judge.
I have one question left for you, Ms. Guerrero. Are you going to name your child after one of your attorneys?
I'll probably, I hope it's a boy. I'll probably name him Christian Wayne. I don't know. We'll see.
good answer, Ms. Guerrero.
Good
Thank
answer.
you.
I kind of like
Oh,
that.
I love this job. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Have
Can
a
we
good day.
fix this, Judge?
Yep, you bet. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.